While some argue that self-defense can empower the victim and put a stop to the bullying entirely, others believe it can actually escalate the situation and lead to more harm. Is it ever justified for a child to bully someone else? It's a complex subject. The answer is no, it doesn't make a child a bad person if they are bullying. But while it is really important to understand the underlying reasons behind a child's behavior, such as untreated mental health issues or a history of abuse, it's obviously crucial to remember that bullying is never condoned. Welcome back to the Warrior Academy podcast. In today's FAQ session, I'm going to be answering 5 of the most typical but hard to answer questions that parents have around bullying. So if you want to get an insight into how to help mentor your child through bullying or some of the awarenesses that you need as you go through that with your children, then make sure you tune into this episode. So the top 5 questions that we seem to be facing here with bullying. Let's get started. So number 1, should victims of bullying fight back physically? Now, this is something we get asked all the time. As a martial arts organization, we're obviously responsible for teaching young people to defend themselves physically. So should victims of bullying fight back physically? Well, encouraging victims of bullying to fight back physically is obviously a controversial topic. While some argue that self-defense can empower the victim and put a stop to the bullying entirely, others believe it can actually escalate the situation and lead to more harm. So there are lots of non-violent alternatives that we always promote. And they begin with seeking help from trusted adults, to reporting the bullying or developing assertiveness skills. We work with children to develop their non-verbal and body language communication, and generally encouraging students to address the issue effectively without resorting to violence. If resorting to violence becomes their go-to resort for any kind of confrontation, you've got a problem on your hands. So look for all of the alternatives straight away and try and teach that to your child first of all. Next question on bullying. Is it ever justified for a child to bully someone else? A really interesting question that we had in. So to answer this question, whether or not it's okay for a child to exhibit bully behavior, does that make them a bad person in often cases? Well, it's a complex subject. The answer is no, it doesn't make a child a bad person if they are bullying. But while it is really important to understand the underlying reasons behind a child's behavior, such as untreated mental health issues or a history of abuse, it's obviously crucial to remember that bullying is never condoned. It doesn't matter what the child, what their circumstances are, it's a behavior that isn't condoned. So it's really important to address the root causes, provide support and intervention for the child, and then teach them empathy, teach them respect, and appropriate ways to express their frustrations and their concerns. You can never condone bullying. The bullies aren't a bad person. It's typically this flow of negativity. The next question that we often get is, should schools be legally responsible for stopping and preventing bullying? Should we as parents put that legal responsibility on schools to prevent bullying from occurring? So the legal responsibility of schools in stopping and preventing bullying is a contentious issue. While schools have a duty to provide safe environments for students, whether they should be legally held accountable for individual classes of bullying is actually debated quite a lot, especially here in the UAE. So some argue that it actually places an unfair burden on schools and attributes responsibility that lies primarily with the individuals involved. And others would contend that legal obligations would provide a stronger incentive for schools to take effective measures to prevent and address bullying, ensuring the safety and the well-being of all the students. Now, my view on this is that we can't ever stop schools from having bullying occur under their roof. It's one of the things that I feel is part of the human condition. It's an ugly part of the human condition. We can't fully prevent it. And so really the responsibility of mentoring children through bullying comes down to parents, comes down to the mentors around them. Of course, they need a support system and pastoral care from the schools, but ultimately it's the parents' responsibility to make sure their child is prepared and the parents don't act in a negative way when it does occur. And so that's really, really important. The legality around it is a complex issue. But the responsibility side of it is a shared responsibility and not something we can just burden on schools themselves. The next question we've got around bullying is, should parents be held accountable for their child's bullying behavior? So holding parents accountable for their child's bullying behavior is obviously a sensitive matter. While a lot of parents play a significant role in shaping their child's behavior, and it's really essential to actually approach the issue with empathy and support. Remember that the children who are exhibiting bullying behavior aren't bad people. There's this flow of negativity going through them, and it's often because they are expressing a repressed emotion. So rather than assigning blame or a collaborative approach and involving parents, schools and support and services is probably much more effective. And parents can be encouraged to actively address their child's behavior. They can be encouraged to seek professional guidance if they're needed, and encouraged to work closely with the school to implement strategies and promote empathy, promote understanding and respectful interactions. And I think that's a much better way than just placing all the blame into one side of the court. The next question is cyberbullying a serious issue or just a part of growing up in the digital age? That is a question we had in recently on bullying. So cyberbullying is without a doubt a serious issue, and it's emerged with the advent of new technology. If you think about technology, it's constantly growing, and so our education around it needs to constantly evolve as well. It's got a massive impact on children's mental health and also their well-being, and that impact can't be underestimated. A lot of people would argue that cyberbullying is a natural part of growing up in the digital age. We can't prevent physical bullying, we can't prevent psychological bullying, we can't prevent digital bullying entirely. But it's really crucial to recognize the potential long-term lasting harm that it can cause. So educating children about digital citizenship, promoting responsible online behavior, and encouraging open communication and developing effective strategies to address cyberbullying are all really vital steps towards fostering a safe and respectful digital environment for young people. That's something we've built into the Warrior Academy program. We call it the digital black belt. And so students who go through our program not only learn how to defend themselves offline, they learn how to defend themselves online. And that's really important. So when a child leaves the Warrior Academy, they really have this huge level of resilience, both offline and online. So I hope those quick 5 questions from the bullying FAQ that we just had were useful. Maybe you gathered some new insights. Do you agree or disagree with our answers there? We are always interested to hear from other parents, so make sure you write in the comments what your thoughts are, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one. Take care. I really hope you enjoyed today's Warrior Academy podcast episode. We're going to keep creating these episodes because I know that so many parents find them useful or get insights or get ideas about how to develop their child's character. But it all comes down to the 3 C's: confidence, conduct, and concentration. So if you want to get a deep insight into the levels of confidence your child has, the level of concentration they have, or the level of conduct they have, so that you can actually put a score next to it and then work towards increasing those scores like we do in the Warrior Academy, then I'd love to invite you to fill in the Breakthrough Area Assessment. It takes about 5 minutes of your time, and you will get a personalized PDF report on your child's 3 C's. To access the Breakthrough Area Assessment and find out your child's 3 C's score, all you need to do is go to www.breakthrougharea.com.